So anyhow, for the good morning, children. Okay, today we are going to start with the new chapter, descriptive statistics. As you have selected applied maths, and applied maths statistics plays an important role. Okay, in applied maths means you'll be applying it in business, economics, and all. So statistics is an important part, and I know that you are learning statistics in economics. Are you learning that one? Bar graph and all.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so here again the same thing. You'll be learning a little bit detail. Okay. So write the heading, descriptive statistics. Descriptive statistics. Descriptive statistics. So what is statistics? What is statistics? Statistics is a branch of mathematics. Okay. Statistics is a branch of mathematics which deals with data collection, analysis, interpretation, isn't it? We collect the data. Then once we collect it, we analyze it. We'll be arranging it. Then from the analysis, we'll take some conclusion and we interpret it. Interpretation of the data, data analysis, interpretation. Okay, interpretation, we can give the result in the form of diagram, bar graph, or histogram. We have learned frequency polygon. So from the lower class onwards, we are learning. Okay. So what is statistics? It is a branch of mathematics which deals with collection, organization, analysis, and interpretation of the data. Okay. So in statistics, there are 4 steps. Data collection. What is the next step? Organization of the data. Organization of the data. Okay. So the first step is data collection. We collect the data. Data collection. Next is data organization. Okay, arranging either in the form of table, using tally marks, interval form, like that we used to organize. Data organization. Once we organize it, we have to analyze that one. We have to go through it and we have to do the analysis. Data analysis. Next is data interpretation. Next is data interpretation. You have to interpret it. Okay, what is the conclusion we get and all, we have to interpret this. Okay, so these are the 4 steps involved in statistics. Okay, so here similarly, the statistics can be categorized into 2 types. Okay, we are not going in depth, only main parts we are going to learn. This statistics can be divided into 2 types. One is descriptive statistics. The other one is inferential statistics. Inferential statistics. Descriptive statistics. Next is inferential statistics. What is descriptive statistics? What is descriptive statistics? Descriptive statistics means based on the data, we summarize. Okay, we summarize the data in a useful and meaningful ways. Okay, just the summarizing of the data only we call it as descriptive statistics. Okay, so descriptive statistics, there are 4 major types of descriptive statistics. Okay, note down this, like this you note down so that you can understand it easily. Okay, so these are the steps in statistics. What are the different steps in statistics? Different steps in statistics. It is data collection, data organization, data analysis, and data interpretation. And if you take statistics, it can be classified into 2 more types, descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. So what is descriptive statistics? In descriptive statistics, what is our aim is to provide the information, to provide the basic information about the data. To provide the basic information about the data. And second one is, there are, okay, I want to highlight the relationship between the data. We want to highlight the relationship. Highlight the relationship. We want to highlight the relationship between the data. So statistics, we can divide it into two. That one is descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. So in descriptive statistics, we provide information. Okay, the main aim is to provide information, and the second one is to highlight the relationship. Okay, so right under that, write down next heading is 4 types of descriptive statistics. Next one is 4 types of, okay, we are going to subdivide this descriptive statistics into 4. We are dividing it into major 4 types. First one is measuring central tendency, or you can write this as measures of central tendency. What is meant by measures of central tendency? This part and all we have learned last year. What are the measures of central tendency? That is calculation of mean, median, and mode. Measures of central tendency, mean, median, and mode. Second one is measures of dispersion. Okay, we are going to learn all these things this year. Okay, measures of dispersion. What is meant by dispersion? Dispersion means it is scattering. Okay, measures of dispersion, how it is dispersed. All these things we are going to learn. So in measures of dispersion, we are going to learn deviation. We are going to learn deviation, variance, standard deviation. We are going to learn, okay, deviation, variance, standard deviation, skewness, and kurtosis. Skewness and kurtosis. Okay, we will be learning all those things one by one. So in measures of dispersion, we learn deviation, variance, standard deviation, skewness, and kurtosis. Krishna Gandhi, what happened? Okay, is it clear? Yes. Pavitra is there. Pavitra, okay. Okay, children. Okay, just we are learning the basics. Just I'm introducing what we are going to learn in statistics. Okay, statistics. There are 2 types, descriptive and inferential. This year we are going to learn descriptive statistics. What is the main purpose of descriptive statistics? What is the main purpose? We want to highlight the relationship between the data. What is the relation? And we want to give the information. Basic information will be provided through this data. Looking at the data, we will be able to understand what is the mean, what is the median from the graph and all. We can understand from that. From the data, now we have to take some decision. That is what we call it as inferential calculus. That we will be learning 12th standard. Okay, so this year we are going to learn which all the information we will get from the given data, how to do, calculate that and all we are going to learn this year. Okay, so if you take descriptive statistics, there are again, we can subdivide it into 4 major types, in which first one is measure of central tendency. The second one is measures of dispersion. Third one is measures of position. Measures of position we learn percentile rank and quartile rank. Percentile rank, ranking, where is the position? Okay, just we are going to rank it. So percentile rank and quartile rank. Okay, ranking, position. What is the position? Position means ranking. 5th position. Among all those things, 7th position, like that we are arranging it. So position, that is the third one. And the 4th one is measures of association. Measures of association. How the measures data are associated. Okay. Measures of association. In measures of association, we learn correlation. Correlation. Correlation means what? There itself the word is there. Correlated. How the variables are related. These all things we are going to learn. Okay. Measures of central tendency, measures of dispersion, measures of position, and measures of association. Okay. Okay, children, you all copied up to this? Okay. So now in the first step, we are going to revise what we have learned about data and all. Okay. So now what I mentioned, everything is splitted in the form. Statistics, we divide it into two types. Is it clear, children? Can you see this one? So this is the concept map. Okay. This for in statistics, I'll give you one activity, make a concept map like this. So statistics, we can divide it into, is it clear? Pavitra?
Yes, ma'am.
Statistics, we divide it into two. Descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. Descriptive statistics, based on data, what are the things we are going to learn? Types of data, data handling, and the visualization of the data. Data, we can present it in pie chart, histogram, bar graph, line graph, and frequency polygon. Next is the measures of central tendency. In measures of central tendency, what we have learned? Mean, median, mode. In measures of dispersion, that and all we will be learning it. Mean deviation, variance, quartile deviation, standard deviation. And in measures of position, we are going to learn with correlation. Okay, now look at this. Look at this, children. Look at the activity. Suppose, okay, 25 students have appeared for the test and the marks are given here. Can you display and organize this given set of data? You're given like this, 25 students marks were there. Whether we have learned this in our lower classes, how will you draw this? Whether we have learned, okay, no need to do it, just we are revising it. Okay, so first we can draw the marks. The next column is frequency. Next, okay, you can draw one more column if you need, you can do tally marks. So 0. How many of them have scored this mark 0? Is it 1? What is frequency? How many times the data occurs only we call it as frequency. Look at the data 1. What is the frequency of 1, Roseanne? Frequency of 1 is
3.
3. What about the frequency for 2? The mark 2 occurs 2 times, isn't it? What about 3? 4 times. 5? The mark 5, sorry, in between 4 is there. The mark 4 is scored by 1 student. Then 5, 3 times. 6, 2 times. 7, 4 times. 8, 2 times. 9, 1 time. And 10, 1 time. Is that no? From this, we can understand what is the mean. We can calculate the mean. We can understand what is the average. What is the mode? Which mark is most repeated? What is the mark score taken by most of the children? What is the score? What is the mode? Okay, most repeated data only we call it as mode. The data with more frequency, we call it as mode. Here, which data is more repeated? So, which is the score? Most repeated score is Which score? Vinay? What are the scores? Can you give the marks? That is repeated. Okay, that is most repeated. Vishnu? Sorry, not Vishnu. Vinay? Vinay is not there. Okay. Akshay Varghese, give the answer, Akshay.
2.
2. Is it 2? The data 2 occurs only 2 times. Mark 2 is scored by only 2 students. My question is, which mark is scored by most of the students? That is mode of the data. What is the mode? Yes. Pranav?
3 and 7.
Yes. 3 and 7. Look at here. The mark 3 is scored by 4 students and 7 is also scored by 4 students. Okay. If there is only one mode, we call it as unimodal. Okay. Only one mode is there means we call it as unimodal. If 2 modes are there means we call it as bimodal. 2 modes are there means we call it as bimodal. 3 modes are there means we call it as trimodal. Okay, so from the given data, by arranging it, we can easily understand what is the mode, what is the lowest mark scored, what is the greatest mark scored, and how many of them have scored the greatest mark, how many of them have scored the lowest mark. Like that, we can understand it from the data. Is it clear? Is it okay? Is it clear, children? Okay, just we are going to revise it. Okay, what you have learned in our concept, we are revising it. So what are the steps? What are the steps involved in statistics? Statistics is concerned with collecting data, organizing data, summarizing, analyzing, and drawing conclusions. That is what we call it as making inferences from the data. Okay. So now look at here. Look at the graph given here. From the graph, okay, look at the graph given here. So it is given the GDP growth at constant price. In 2005, the GDP growth is 131. In 2010, okay, from the data we can understand it is increasing. Okay, after a few years, after every 5 years, this GDP rate is going on increasing. So this is one way of representing the data. And what type of graph is this? What type of graph is this? Can you tell me? Can you identify the type of graph? Is it bar graph or pie chart or histogram or frequency polygon? What type of graph is this? Yes? Pavitra. This is?
Bar graph.
Bar graph. Along x-axis, we take the years, and y-axis, we take the rate. So it is a bar graph. Okay. So now listen. Types of data. Write down this, children. Write down this table. Types of data. Types of data. Write down this one. Okay, listen, children. Based on the source, the data can be collected, divided as primary data and secondary data. Listen, all of you. First, I'll explain it. After that, you can write down that one. Okay. So, data based on the source. Source means what? From where we collect. We divide it into 2 types. That is primary data and the secondary data. Primary data means if we ourselves collect the data, okay, if I am going to each house by house, or if I am going to meeting each person and collect the data by myself, means it is the first time I'm collecting the data. Such data we call it as primary data. The investigator collects the data by himself. Investigator is collecting the data with a definite purpose, means we call it as primary data. What about secondary data? You can see some data are available in the government sites, some websites and all data will be available. If you use that data, we call that as secondary data. Actually, it is not collected by the investigator. It is collected by some other person and the investigator is using it. Is it clear? The difference, is it clear, children? If the investigator himself collects the data, means we call that as primary data. Is it clear? Okay, suppose you want to take some statistics regarding the ages of how many persons are there living in your surrounding whose ages are greater than 70. What you can do? You can contact the panchayat. From the panchayat, you may get the data, or you can ask the ward member. Or what you can do? You can go and visit each house and you can collect a list of persons. Is that no? So if I am going to each house and I'm collecting the data by myself, means it is primary. Okay, if some other person gives the data, or from the site, if you are taking the data, means we call that as secondary data. Is it clear? Is the difference okay? Abdul Aman, Vinay. Okay. Akshay. So primary, based on the source, we divide it as primary data and secondary data. Okay. Next is based on the organization. That means once you collect the data, the given data as such, the collected data as such is called the raw data. We have not arranged. We have not yet arranged. It is just a data as such. When we collect it as fresh, we call it as raw data. And the next one is organized data. We can arrange it either in ascending order or in descending order. Okay, so like the, or if it is interval in the form of intervals, then we call that data as organized data or classified data. Organized data or classified data. So the first one is based on the source. Second one is based on the organization. Organization means arrangement. So if you are not arranged, once we get the data as fresh, it is called the raw data. When we arrange it, it is called the organized data or classified data. Next is based on the values. Based on the values, we classify this as discrete data and continuous data. For example, how many flights, or you can say, suppose the number of cars passing through a particular junction in a highway. How many cars pass through it? So either the data will be 3 or 5, 10, 20, like that you will get some exact numbers. So in that case, we call it as discrete data. Suppose we are taking the heights of the students, okay, in a particular class. So it may be height will be 140, 141. So 141.5. So in that case, we take all the numbers. So in that case, we say height will be lying between 140 to 150. Okay, that means it can take a number between 140 to 150. Is it clear? So in that case, we call it as discrete data. It is called discrete data. Okay, a variable which can take any value between two given values. It can take any values between any two given values, means we call it as continuous data. What about discrete data? Some numbers we can be given exactly. How many, for example, number of students in 10A, number of students in 11A. Will it be coming as continuous? In some class, it will be 30. In some class, it will be 40. As I know, in your class, what is the class strength? What is the strength? 11A. So here, the number will be either finite, 10, 20, 23. Like that, we give some numbers. We can't say it will be, can take any number between 20 to 30. Is it possible to take 20.5, 21.5? No. Okay. So based on the value, we can split that as discrete data or continuous data. And based on the variables, we call this as univariate data, bivariate data, multivariate data. Based on the data, we classify this as univariate, bivariate, and multivariate. What is meant by univariate? For example, suppose we take the marks. Okay, suppose we collect the marks of the students in English. So for a particular student, we collect the marks. So in marks, what is this English mark or what is the max mark? So we have 10, 15, 20, like that we get separately. That is called univariate. Only one variable we are considering, mark of a particular subject. Suppose I want to compare the marks of two subjects. I want to compare the marks of maths and science. I want to compare their. Okay, so maths and science means I am considering two variables, marks in maths and marks in science. In that case, we call it as bivariate data. Is it clear? Univariate means we consider only one variable. For example, age of a particular student, age of the students in a class 11A. It is a univariate. Suppose I am collecting the height and weight of the students. Height and weight means we are collecting two information, isn't it? We are getting height and weight of a particular student. So it is called a bivariate data. Sorry. Suppose along with height and weight, suppose I collect the blood group, the cholesterol level of a particular student, BP. I'm measuring the BP level, sugar level, everything. If I write down means it is information. You are getting the information of many variables. So in that case, it is called multivariate data. Is it clear? The difference, is it clear? Pavitra, Roseanne, Akshay, please turn variable. Okay. Bivariate means we consider two things. Okay, height and weight, age and weight. Okay. What about multivariate? Height, weight, blood group. Then what else you can take? Yes. Blood group. Okay, if you go for any medical checkup, they'll write so many data together. Is that no? Blood group, the cholesterol level, and all. You might have seen your parents' health card and all. Okay, so many data will be considered. In that case, we call that as multivariate data. Up to this point, is it clear? You copied that one, types of data. You copied it or not, Roseanne? No. I'll share it, copy it. Make it fast. Akshay? Finished writing? Akshay? Yes? No. Vinay, is it okay? Vinay, up to this, is it clear? Statistics?
Yes, ma'am.
You have not started doing the problem. Just I'm giving the introduction only. Is it over, Pavitra? Yes. Okay. Now listen, children. Look at the next one. See, all these things we are learning it. What I have explained, it is given in there. Primary data, secondary data. Okay, I'll send the PDF today. Just read it. Raw data. The data collected as such is called raw data. Okay. The raw data is the primary data. Otherwise, it is called first-hand data. Next is based on the variables. We call it as univariate, bivariate, or multivariate. For example, temperature in Delhi. This is univariate data. Look at the bivariate data. Price and quantity. Price and quantity. Age and height. These are all some examples of bivariate data. Okay, age and height. Multivariate data means, what is the example given here? Involves more than two variables. Multivariate data means it involves more than two variables. Next is, what are the common measurement of scales? Okay, so the data based on the values, based on the answers, okay, you can classify that into four types: nominal data, ordinal data, interval data, and ratio. There are four types of measuring scales. Underline, okay, write down this one. Write this one. There are four types of measuring scales. Okay, Everything is there in your textbook. Read the textbook. One more question will be asked from all this theory parts. In your textbook, what we are discussing, everything is there. Okay, there are 4 types of measuring scales: nominal scale, ordinal scale, interval scale, and ratio scale. Okay, so what is meant by nominal? Suppose your question, when you prepare the questionnaire, you'll ask the question, what is your name? What is your favorite subject? Then what we do? We write maths or English, physics, like that we write the subject. We write our name. So that is called nominal, based on the names. It is based on the names. Okay, this type of measurement we call it as nominal measurements. Okay, when you collect the names and all, married or unmarried. Okay, look at this type of data. What do you teach? Maths. This type of data we call it as nominal. We are not numbering, we select it. What is your religion? What is your gender? So these are all examples of nominal level measurements. We are naming it male or female, like that. Okay, that means they are not numerical value. They are not numerical. Okay, they can be called labels. It can be called labels. Okay, if it is name, blood group. Okay, blood group and all will be coming under the category nominals. You just name it. We are giving some names. That is why we call it as. Here, we can't rank it. And there is no ordering. We can't say this, Max is the top, female is the topper. Like that we can't say. Okay, we just collect the data and we keep it. Okay, so here in nominal data, what you have to notice, they are not. Okay, so now listen. So in nominal data, what we have, they are numerical. They are mutually exclusive. What is meant by mutually exclusive? Only one thing you can select. If you select the religion, you'll be selecting any one of the religion. If you select the blood group, you'll select one of the blood group. Is it possible to select A and B together? No. Okay. Next is ordinal. Ordinal means what? Based on the values. Okay. Ordinal measurement allows categorizing the data. These categories can be ordered or ranked, but precise measurement of differences does not exist. For example, look at here. Sometimes you might have answered like this. Angry. Okay. Whether you have answered any questionnaire like this, rate your, okay, whenever we use some app and all, you will be getting like this. Rate this app. Good, very good, excellent. Yes or no? Whether you get some rating performance like this, the same way here. Here we can't measure it. If it is angry, you will be giving 1. If it is upset, you give 2. Okay, very poor. Like that, if you do this, this is called nominal measurement. This is, sorry, not nominal. It is called ordinal. Okay, we call this as ordinal. It is called ordinal. Look at the next one, interval scale of measurement. What is under interval scale? Height of 50 students. Height of 50 students or height of the students in 11A. Height of the students in 11A means it will be coming from 150 to 160. Like that, if we write, we call this as interval scale. We call this as interval scale. Okay, for example, when you draw the intervals, when you construct the frequency tables, we used to construct like this, 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. Okay, so like this, when we write the data, it is called interval scale. Okay, suppose we collect the age group, and we want to check how many are there within the age group 0 to 10, how many are there within the age group 10 to 20. So in that case, we will divide it into intervals. So that type of interval measurement is called interval scale. So data based on the data measuring, based on the measurement type, we categorize it into 4. First one is nominal. Nominal means give your name. In which section you belong. Okay, like that, if you ask some questions like that, then we say it is nominal. Next is ordinal. Okay, ordinal means what? You just comment it, A for the good. Yes or no? In at home, when you book the gas, you will be getting this message. Okay, if it is 0, you press the for booking the gas. 1 for giving this. Complaint, you book 2. Yes or no? Whether you used to get like this or not. That is another example for nominal. And what is the third one? Suppose you collect the persons in your locality, you divide it into the groups, age group. Then we divide it into intervals, 0 to 10, how many are there? 10 to 20, how many are there? Like that, if we divide it, it is called interval scale. And the fourth one is ratio scale, based on the ratio. Based on the ratio, if we give, we call this as ratio scale. Based on the ratios. We call this as ratio scale. Ratio scale. Okay, it is used to compare this equal distances and all. Mainly, okay, ratio scales. Interval scale we use, okay, but ratio scales very rarely only we use. True ratios are needed when the same variable is compared on two different members of the population. Okay, for example, suppose you want to look at the, we can say, consumer price index. Okay, suppose we want to calculate the consumer price index of two different states. Then we will take the ratio. What is the ratio of the people there? What is the ratio there? And we compare it. That is what we call it as ratio scale. So these are the 4 scales. And next is representation of the data. Representation of the data. Data representation, we have learned it from our lower class. We can represent the data using bar graph, isn't it? This is what we call it as bar graph. Next is identified. What about this one? This one is also a bar graph, is or no? We are drawing bars. What about the next case? It is just an introduction only, just for revising what you have learned in our lower classes. Actual concepts start from the mean, median, and mode. What is this graph called? What is this graph called? Pranav?
Pie chart.
Pie chart, circle graph. It is otherwise called circle graph. Very good. Pie chart. Now look at the next type, representation of data. What is this type of data? This is line graph. Is or no? It is line graph. Next one. This one. Continuous blocks means we call this as, here also we have bar, but look at the bar. Are they continuous? That means it is called histogram. It is a histogram. Okay, it is called the histogram. Here also it is a histogram. Next is frequency polygon. In frequency polygon, what we will do? We will be joining the midpoints, class mark. Okay, like this, if you draw this, we call this as frequency polygon. Okay, so up to this, we have learned in our lower classes. Okay, so in the next period onwards, we'll start how to calculate the mean, median, and mode. That one also we have learned last year. From there only, we are going to learn. Measures of central tendency. Actually, from there only, we are going to start. That we will be starting in the next period. So what you have to do is, today what you have to do, open the textbook, read what we have learned about this, read it and come. We'll get 1 more questions from this part. Okay. Actually, your portion starts from mean, median, and mode. But just for a revising, okay, just for revising all those things, We just went through all these types. Okay, with this we end the session now. Thank you.